Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are getting into episode 13 of Tower of God, and I am already stressed about this because we ended off the last episode with the push, and I just don't know if I'm ready to see all of the aftermath of that. Obviously, we have to actually finish the test that we are currently part of, but also just dealing with the immediate reaction of all of the characters finding out what happened to Mom, and the anger that I'm going to feel because I was in shock the first time that I experienced the story. Now I knew it was coming, so I'm just like mad. I'm just fueled by the rage that I continue to have specifically towards Rachel if you have watched any of my videos about the actual webtoon going through that. But I don't know how much we're going to get in terms of like, hinting for season 2, if they're going to pull some of the stuff from season 2 forward a little bit to just give some context for what happened with Bomb, or if they're going to just stick to the stuff that's happened in season 1 of the webtoon. Not sure, because this came out when there were already a bunch of chapters for season 2, so we're gonna have to wait and see. But this, I feel like this is gonna be a bit of a downer. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I'm stressed. Bomb just stresses me out all the time. You know, like, consistently. God, I hate her. You thought. I'm with him. Them? Oh, yeah. This is, most certainly not the end for either of you. I mean, it probably would have been better if he had forgotten about her, honestly, given everything that has gone on since following her up the tower. Honestly, probably. I'm with you on that one. No, it wasn't. Get wrecked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try to be kinder. I mean, the tower's never been fair, so sometimes you just have to deal with the consequences. Ooh, I love the way that the shadows shifted on her face, though. What did you... I guess she just was like, oh, I'm just gonna climb the tower, but like, you can't just climb the tower. Some people can pass. You just can't. Yep, you were not the chosen one. Did he? Did he just follow you? That's such a cool image. Grotesque, but... Mm-hmm. Read her. Not that I particularly think that anyone in the tower is like a good person, but mm-hmm. I get it though. Like I I do understand the interest in like Rachel's character though. She's a very interesting character, especially in contrast to everyone else because she's not special. Because she's ordinary. There is a like bottomless stupidity. Dang, okay. But there is like something fascinating as, you know, a normal average just person living in our current world to see someone like that trying to navigate the tower. Ooh, the silhouette. So much like demand from her too, like her being like, oh, it's not fair to give them a test that nobody can win. It's not fair that this person has a weapon and I don't. It's not fair that, like, you know, she's all these things of like pointing out that um things aren't equal, right? And that is something that she rebels against. I mean, he did his darndest. It's not like he didn't try. I mean, at least there is some conscience to her. I'll give her that at least. That he does. Apparently, yes. I bet she misread the signs. Apparently, you aren't willing to do anything, though. Interesting parallels, though, between them. Like, Ho saying the things that Rachel is thinking, but won't say it outwardly, right? Amusing. It's a good little summary of like the whole season, but like shifting the perspective, right, to what Rachel was experiencing. Saying like it was simple too, I think is really interesting because it wasn't, right? Like she's going through a lot of turmoil trying to decide it. If it were simple, she would have done it forever ago. He won't. The crazy thing too is that like Rachel's whole thing is she wants to be special, she wants to be a star, she wants to shine, right? And the only person she's ever done that for is Mom. Like she's the most important person in the entire world to Mom. But to everyone else, she's not special. I believe that. But I mean, the thing too is like to give her at least some leeway. She is being manipulated by so many people in the tower because they want Bomb dead. So choosing someone who can easily get close to him and that he's gonna put his defenses down around is probably a lot easier than trying to take him on, especially given the kind of power he's already shown. It'd be a lot more difficult. Like, again, giving some credit, traveling with Bum would make her life more difficult than traveling without him. Because again, a lot of people want Bum dead. So just such a sweetheart. Bum, not her. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is kind of sad. Like, some people are just born in circumstances better or worse than other people. I do like the animation of her eyes like wavering though. Like you can feel like the tension in that part because again, eyes are gateways to the soul, right? Ooh, the like maybe I'm a shadow cast by the star's light. Maybe. He would have too. But the problem is that if he did it, then that would mean that she's not special, right? Like she couldn't do it unless she was with someone who was special instead of her. That sharp cut though in the music too. Ooh, the shift in her facial expression. The in your place is really interesting too. Which does tie into a lot of her story, like going forward into season 2. Gross. She deserves it. I'm so glad that after all of that, she had a disgusting experience. Mm-hmm. Just not exactly how you were told it would go. Oh. Oh. Shibisu. Time and place. Oh. Same rock. Just screams of defiance and sadness. Most of it. Never trust someone who smiles that much. True. Everyone who manipulated her did just like find what was already there and just like applied enough pressure to push her in the right direction. I remember this and like go up to it and being like, thanks, I hate it. This is definitely like a stepping over a point of no return for Rachel's character. And others. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you'll find the truth, but you'll definitely find some other information. At least where I'm at in the story. I'm like, I have more questions than answers. There's a boy. True. Mm-hmm. Read the situation. I know Kuhn's like clocking it. Me too. He was. And you're gonna find out in good measure. Oh, things are never as they are at the season 1. I mean, part of the reason I've liked reliving the story of season 1 through the anime is that I'm like, man, that was a different time. I feel like things were simpler in season 1. At least for Bomb it was. Mm-hmm. Don't even get me started on that, okay? Yeah. A lot of people. Ooh, interesting. He drove you and her mad. Especially given some of the stuff I'm reading in the webtoon right now. I won't talk about it because I don't want to like spoil nothing. Because I passed stuff that's happened in the anime for season 2 as well, so I don't want to give any story away if people are not reading the webtoon. Such an interesting way to end the first season of like welcome to the tower again, right? Because it's like now with the understanding of why, like what the tower is, and also it's deciding to climb the tower. Like this is him deciding to be part of that world as opposed to just following Rachel. We're getting a little sneak peek of what season 2 has. Ooh, it's gonna be a ride. It is a really good mechanic to recap this season because it is really important to make sure that you understand all of the events that came before this going into season 2, because season 1 is like a prologue. It's like this chapter 0 of the rest of the series, which I think a lot of people told me about, but I conceptualize that a lot better having gotten further in the story, because it is like an origin for Bomb and Rachel and understanding a lot of the stuff that is going to come with season 2 and following with the rest of the story. So I think it's really interesting to have this mechanic of let's go through the whole story again, but from Rachel's perspective, a bit of a Cliff's Notes version of it from her perspective with this narration, and it gives you a recap of everything whilst also having a very different perspective on those events, and explains her character a lot. Because when you're going through the story for the first time, I definitely had some like red flags going with Rachel. There's just something about her that I was like, I don't know about this. There's just something about the way that she talks about things that I was picking up the foreshadowing a little, but still there wasn't like a confirmation of any of that. That was just me being like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too suspicious, but I don't trust it. Whereas after she pushes Bomb, we have this confirmation that she is not this person who is looking out for Bomb, is a friend of Bomb's. Like, she's not the person that Bomb sees her as. And so much of the series is through Bomb's perspective and his idea of who Rachel is. So to have this moment of let's switch it, what is her perspective and how does she see Bomb, right? A lot of our perspective on Bomb is from his friends and how they see him. And the way that they see him is our little cinnamon bun that we have in the group. And that's very different from how Rachel sees it, because she she sees it as, here's this person who has everything that I want, who is special, who is a star, who is loved, who has power, who has influence, who shapes the way that everything functions around him, because he fundamentally breaks the rules of the system of like how it's supposed to work. He is inherently special. His mere existence, despite not understanding how the tower works, not wanting to be there, not having these huge aspirations, he fundamentally shifts the entirety of how the tower works simply by existing in it, right? That's what an irregular is, right? Having that be the person that is closely tied to who she is, have literally everything that she wants. I can understand some of it. I understand the motivation. I understand that seeing someone have everything that you want is really difficult, especially when they just inherently have it, right? Bam has done nothing at this point to get to where he is except learn a bit about Shinsu and like how to manipulate it. But even then, he was just inherently better at it than other people. And we saw that with Ho, right? Of him just being like naturally good at this thing, and the other people around him having to work so much harder for it. And I think that it's really interesting to have that perspective from someone like Rachel, who again is like the most special person in the entire world to Bam, but she doesn't want to be special to him. She wants to be special to in general, right? From a fate perspective, and she's just gonna have to work for it. And I think it's really interesting to have this continual motif throughout this season and continue with the story of not only is the tower not fair, but the fact that hard work doesn't always pay off. Just because you want something and you try really hard for it, or you were born in circumstances that did not favor the thing that you wanted, doesn't mean that you're like, you have to get it. I think this is something that like we want to believe, right? If you put in enough effort towards something, you should get the same back, right? It's something that we like to believe to like comfort ourselves, but in reality, that's not actually how it works. Some people are just born special, right? Some people are born into the great houses. Some people are born with a lot of power. Some people are born into wealth. Some people are born with access to weapons and training and understanding of like how all of it works. Some people aren't. Some people are born in small villages where the entire population gets wiped out. Some people are inherently born a crime in terms of Anak, right? She should not exist. She's against the Princess Jihad's rules and stuff. She has a bunch of things thrown against her because of that. There are so many things within the story and the tower that talk about how you can't help how you were born or where you were born or the circumstances of it, and that inherently is unfair. It doesn't matter if you want something and you work for it and you have this clear passion for it, that doesn't necessarily always pay off. And that's a really difficult pill to swallow, that there's some things that you do not get to have. And it's interesting to have all of that set up with it and all of this conflict, even losing some people who are like, I actually can't handle going up the tower more. That's just not in the cards for me. I can't do it. I'm not willing to make the sacrifices for that, or I don't have the ability for that. And contrast that with Rachel saying, if I just sacrifice enough, I can have this thing, right? And that's like a continual thing with her character, is that she believes that if she can justify doing all these awful things and sacrificing and giving up stuff because it has to pay off at some point, she's going to have to reach some kind of goal or get what she wants, and that will justify it in some way. So it's just interesting to get to the end of this season through the anime and with a little more perspective on stuff that is going to happen later on with the characters. I know that people have mixed thoughts specifically about the style of the animation going into season 2. I haven't watched the trailer or anything. I haven't looked into any deeper into people's perspectives because I didn't want to get too spoiled on like that side of it. Like I don't want people to like dictate how I'm going to think about it. I want to go in and have my own opinion about it, but vaguely I've heard the mixed things about it, so I don't really know how people feel about season 2, but it has some of my favorite characters and some of my favorite stories, so I'm excited to get to see some of that and make up my own mind on it. But I thought this was really good. I thought that the style of the animation was really good. I love all the music in it. They used music really well and to help tell the story. I think that the pacing was really well done. Voice acting was really good all around. The Roro, I don't know about his voice actor. I just feel in my head that's not what he sounded like, but that's probably more of a me thing. Not because he did a bad job or he was a good voice actor. It's just like in my head that wasn't the vocal tone that I was imagining. But all around, really well done, I think, adaptation wise. And I don't know, it makes me excited to see what we're gonna get for season 2. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click Let's Plays to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.